While live, somebody told me they received a Blizzard survey about Diablo 4, and Diablo 4 surveys are decently common. This is something Blizzard does in order to get sort of market information to figure out how they should price their different products, as well as receive feedback on the survey. So this wasn't too surprising. However, what was surprising was some of the things they stated were within the survey. So I actually did a little digging in order to find out if there was any truth behind this, because some of the claims were things like extra stash tabs, or even something that might be considered pay to win going into the next expansion. So we're going to dig down into this and see what information is actually available on this. So the very first thing I did was search Diablo 4 Reddit for surveys. I was able to pull this up from 10 days ago, saying they received a Blizzard survey about the Diablo 4 expansion up to a $90 price tag, and this was correlated with the data that I was told. Now, if we scroll down here, the person actually states it's from $40 to $90, and that there was actually extra stash space available, as well as a functional companion, whatever that means, right along the other things you would assume, like Battle Pass and premium coins, etc., that normally comes with the more expensive versions. So there was one Reddit post about it. That, in my opinion, is not enough. There was no screenshots. There was no proof behind this, so I continued to dig. I was able to find this from 3 days ago, where he quotes about early access to a functional item and leaves a screenshot. Now, if we actually pull up the screenshot here, you're going to see that it says early access to a functional item, early access to a functional item in game, such as a unique piece of gear or legendary aspect before it's released during the expansion. Click here to see an example. So this would be a unique or legendary item, and then additional stash space. These are both two brackets, and if you're not familiar with how this works, these are effectively items that they would be selling, or perks that they would be selling in association if you purchase the expansion. Now, if you guys remember the very first survey that we had before the game even launched about the Ultimate Edition, etc., that got translated, it looked very similar to this. So that part at least remains consistent. However, I was not 100% believing this, as this is a typo. It says suck as a unique piece of gear. But if you go to a screenshot where he would have copy pasted this from, it says such as a new unique piece of gear, etc. So I was wondering, I'm like, is this actually real or not? This was also posted on November 23rd, so it's fairly recent, and the pricing, he says, goes anywhere from $40.99 to $99.99. This gentleman links to a YouTube video and then also says he got an email from the survey, but he couldn't participate because he was in the EU. If you follow the link, it actually takes you directly to this video, which says Blizzard's latest survey is very concerning by Belluar. This is him right here. It's his normal channel. And if you actually scroll through and watch his video, I'll have a link down below in case you want to watch the whole thing. He has multiple parts of his video where he actually shows more completed screenshots. And these screenshots actually seem to follow the pricing that's mentioned in the previous threads. Now, in the video, he claims that a little birdie told him, or basically somebody just leaked the survey, and that the survey itself is NDA'd for the people that received it. I never received this survey, so luckily I get to talk about it as well. It would make sense they probably wouldn't send the content creators surveys that have stuff they probably don't want you to talk about. The first screenshot out of this video here isn't too concerning. It shows the price of an expansion, though I would like to see the price of an expansion like $39.99. They do have ones for $49.99 being the cheapest of the options, including hero skins and mounts that evolve with achievements and some bonus credits, the normal digital type of stuff you get. This actually didn't seem to be that big of a deal. The price would be the debatable one in it, but nothing of major controversy outside of some cosmetics and the price of what an expansion should be. But the second screenshot that he shows is sort of confirmation of the other Reddit threads and the other Blizzard survey threads that we had seen before, showing that this is actually early access to an item, and the wording, etc., follows along the same lines as this leaked screenshot. And this leaked screenshot came out on the forum before he posted the video and did not include the rest of it. So we can sort of confirm that this looks like at least a legitimate screenshot, considering the guy cropped out this little bit for his forum post and Belluar has the rest of it around it. So the triangulation of the survey seems to be accurate. I can't confirm it myself because, again, all we have is other people's word. And if you actually Google Diablo 4 expansion survey leaks or whatever, it's actually fairly hard to find these screenshots. So all we really have is a Reddit post, which was 10 days ago. We have the forum post here, which was just about 3 days ago. And then we have Belluar saying that he got confirmation from somebody else that sent him a survey here 2 days ago. And all of the information that is sent more or less lines up with each other, 10 days, the 3-day, and the video. They all sort of do triangulate approximately the same data. So it seems somewhat accurate, but there's no way to confirm. Another thing I noticed was that these pricing, the $49.99 to $99.99, is not just for the expansion. People were mentioning this in the thread, like, oh, it's $50 for an expansion or what have you. It includes the base game, or so it does if you look at the actual rest of this video. So this would be the full pricing for both games if you were purchasing Diablo 4 going into it. So that does maybe make the pricing a little better. However, the sticky part in the conversation comes when we start talking about the other side of things, okay? The early access to functional items. I don't think selling a habit of being able to get the items early in the game is probably a very good idea. I also, in particular, don't really like additional stash space being so. There's 1 and 2 stash tabs, depending upon what version you purchase. The concept of selling those stash tabs seems very reverse to what I was understanding Blizzard was promising in terms of stash tabs. We were told it was a technical limitation due to more or less bad coding. So selling the solution to their own problem they created doesn't seem like a very palpable idea for me, at least personally, when we're looking at this, okay? And I'm sure a lot of people would probably agree with that take. It's important to note that in this video here, some of the options they show do not include the base game, do not include additional stash storage, and do not include the early access to a functional item. So if this is a real survey, let's just assume it's a real survey, because it does seem like there's multiple people that can kind of appeal to saying this is what they're receiving. If this is a real survey, then this is what I would say they're fishing. They're out there trying to see what people would like, what they could get away with. I mean, like any company really would here for marketing. And I would highly doubt, or at least Copium would highly suspect, that they do not try to sell additional stash tabs. That seems like a terrible idea. They're just trying to see what people think about the idea and then sell early access to functional items. These would both be horrendously bad ideas. Also, the one part that doesn't make sense to me is I thought they already mentioned during BlizzCon, didn't they actually say that when you purchase the expansion, like you can go right into it with your friends, like you're not going to have to worry about the other side of it, which made me think that the base game was already announced as being included. Maybe that's not what they meant. Maybe they meant you can just skip that story and then go into start the story, of the expansion, and you don't have to do the previous campaign. They could have meant that, but I also took it as like you buy the expansion, you get the full game, was also how I was seeing that. So some things in this survey seem to me like I already thought we had decided upon this. So maybe the survey's real, maybe it's not. It seems like it is real for multiple people, I'm saying, but if they're actually considering selling early access to functional items, depending upon which tier you decide to purchase, I don't like that. And if they're trying to sell additional stash tabs, I don't like that either. We should be getting additional stash tabs, because the problem originally, as was explained, was a coding issue. You're loading everyone else's stash tabs all of the time because of the way trading works in the game. Is effectively bad coding. So why would we sell the solution to bad coding with our dollars? I don't like that answer. However, on the positive side of things, if the base game is included, especially at that $49.99 price point, if they don't go with paywalling stash tabs, if they don't sell the early access, and they just launch a good expansion, $40, $50, it comes with the base game included at that price. Maybe you can spend an extra $20 if you want for some cosmetics or something like they did with the Digital Deluxe. I didn't really have any issues with the Digital Deluxe or Collector's Edition or whatever. If you want to pay for it, so be it. I paid for it, but I haven't even used the cosmetics even once. So that would be fine, in my own personal opinion. So they could go one of two ways here. And hopefully, at the very best, hopefully this survey is all made up. And none of this is true at all, because that would be preferable, as I don't like to think that they're thinking about selling stash tabs. But hey, that's the news just for today. And we'll be live right now at twitch.tv/Darth Microtransaction. You can find it in the pinned comment down below. Let me know what you think of this situation. Is it real? Is it not real? See you on the live stream.